All right, so move on to the next segment. We're going to pivot here over to the WWE in the world of wrestling. In the next segment, I'll be sharing my WrestleMania 41 Night 1 prediction. So I'm looking at this WrestleMania 41 Night 1 card. It doesn't even add up to the hype and the suspense that Night 2 has this year. So I think I don't know. Night 1 does not look as good as Night 2. But let's get into the card and the predictions. So you will have Gunther defend his World Heavyweight Championship against the 2025 Royal Rumble winner and main event, Jey Uso. So this match here, the story has picked up. I will give it its props and its credit. It has picked up and it's being taken more serious by the WWE Universe as the weeks go on the road to WrestleMania, because the WWE is starting to capitalize on the fact that Gunther is already 3-0 against Jey Uso in one-on-one head-to-head competition. And Jey Uso they picked up on the story of Jey Uso making clumsy mistakes and Gunther destroying his twin brother Jimmy Uso a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, with Gunther having his twin's blood covered all over him, and Jimmy taking a beat down in front of Jey, right in front of him. So Jey Uso looks more serious. He's not doing more yeeting. He's looking more serious. This is the most serious I've seen him since he was the right-hand man of Roman Reigns during the Bloodline days, the golden days of the Bloodline. So WWE can go either way here. Jey Uso, this is the biggest match of his career. He's got to hit it out of the park. There's not going to be a super kick fiesta. You're in the ring with the ring general, one of the best in the business today in Gunther. So I think this will go either way. But I'm going to go with Jey Uso having his crowning moment, winning the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time in his WWE career. I think Jey Uso and Gunther are going to have a good match, and I think Gunther's going to bring the best out of Jey Uso. There's going to be a lot of storytelling in the match. I'm looking forward to it. But with a lackluster build, I think Jey Uso is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. So next match, I'm disappointed in this next match. You'll have the WWE World Tag Team Champions defending their titles, the War Raiders defending their title, the Viking Raiders defending their title against the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Now, if I'm being honest, there is no way in this world, the way how the tag team division has gone over the last 12 months, that is the Raw tag team division, the weakest tag team division across all three brands in wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the WWE, that they're getting a tag team match on WrestleMania card compared to what the SmackDown tag team division has done over the last 5 to 6 months. That is absolutely wild and insane, because this match between the Viking Raiders and the New Day is not a WrestleMania-worthy match. I just seen this match a week ago on Raw with the New Day winning the match by disqualification. There's no disrespect here, but there's no hype or build to have this match at WrestleMania. I don't see it. But I honestly feel like Triple H has dropped the ball with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods turning heel after the way how they turned heel, kicking Big E out of the WWE and having more heel heat than Dominic Mysterio getting booed out of arenas. And they just dropped it. They fumbled it. Because now they're not taken as serious. And WWE has not invested as much time into the New Day like they did for the heel turn. So, I'm disappointed that this is on WrestleMania. I'm going to go with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods to win the match, but there's going to be a swerve. Whether they win or lose, Big E is going to be involved in this match. If the New Day loses, I think the Viking Raiders will capitalize on that and retain the titles. But if the New Day win, it's going to be Big E turning heel, becoming the Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods' his manager, and him asserting himself back into the New Day. That's what I can see happening at WrestleMania. Only reason why I believe it made the card is because Big E is going to be involved somehow, some way in this match. So next, you have Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Now, honestly, I am enjoying this feud over on the Blue brand for Friday Night SmackDown. This is exactly what a non-title feud is supposed to look like. Have the aspirations and a great build to be something special on the grandest stage of them all. Because the attacker was Naomi taking Jade Cargill, writing her off of television for months, and then Jade Cargill coming back and beating the hell out of Naomi for taking her out of action, beating her out in the parking lot, leaving her in a complete heap of mess because Naomi was jealous of the friendship that her and Bianca Belair had with the tag team titles, the run that they had, and Naomi basically taking Jade Cargill's spot. So I think that Jade Cargill, when she returned back to television, like I just said, beating the hell out of Naomi and eliminating her out of the Elimination Chamber with Jade Cargill not even being in the match, that was great. And the heel run, the promos, the great heel work that I'm seeing out of Naomi right now, the WWE can't afford to drop the ball on this. This is world title aspirations of Naomi having this great heel run. So, with that being said, I think Naomi needs to win more than Jade Cargill here. Jade can win the feud, as this feud should continue on, but to capitalize on the work that Naomi's done, being in the tag team division with Bianca Belair, putting on great matches, I think she deserves the victory here at WrestleMania more than Jade Cargill. And I think Jade Cargill overall can win the feud, but at WrestleMania, it should be Naomi winning the match against Jade Cargill. So my prediction right there should be Naomi going over Jade Cargill. That's how I would book it. Next match, you have LA Knight defending his United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. Now, WWE, I don't know what happened for this road to WrestleMania, but they made a mistake. They made a lot of mistakes, but a big mistake was made here because the SmackDown mid-card is very stacked right now. You have LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, Solo Sikoa. I mean, how was there not a multi-man match here, possibly a ladder match for the United States Championship this year at WrestleMania? Why is it now that it's just LA Knight defending the title against Jacob Fatu? And it's also a shame because think about the best of 7 matches, that best of 7 series that we've seen between Carmelo Hayes and Andrade over the months, and they don't even have a spot on the grandest stage of them all of WrestleMania. Damn, it hurts. But I think Jacob Fatu, the WWE has been booking him seriously since he's debuted to the company last summer. I think he's going to get a shining moment, winning his first WrestleMania match, and he'll win his first title in the WWE, winning the United States Championship against LA Knight. Now, I think after that, LA Knight should be pushed to the main event scene. Whether he's drafted to Raw or SmackDown when the WWE draft comes, he should be out of the mid-card scene at this point. He's too over, too big of a star to stay put in the mid-card scene. So, with that being said, I think later on for the year, you'll finally see the feud between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. The United States title will probably be in the mix for that feud. So that's where I see the division of the mid-card scene for SmackDown moving forward. But I think Jacob Fatu will defeat LA Knight at WrestleMania Night 1 to win the United States title. Next match, you have Rey Mysterio against El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable. Again, is this WrestleMania worthy? No. Is this pay-per-view worthy? Yes, but not at the grand stage of all of WrestleMania. No. And I'm glad that Rey Mysterio and Chad Gable, great talents in their own rights, have made the card, but this match is not WrestleMania worthy. And Chad Gable going MIA, the story is Chad Gable going MIA, leaving his group, his faction, the Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile, to learn how to defeat lucha wrestlers. So now he's came with this persona of El Grande Americano, where everybody knows it's Chad Gable, but he's just dressed and wearing a lucha mask like lucha wrestlers like Rey Mysterio, Penta, Rey Fenix, and several others around the world wear. And Chad Gable with this persona is disrespecting the LWO, unmasking Dragon Lee, because we know lucha wrestlers hate to be unmasked during the matches, and it affects the lucha libre style of wrestling for them when they're unmasked and they don't have the mask wrestling on wrestling matches. But now El Grande Americano as Chad Gable will face Rey Mysterio, and I think he's going to get the win here. I think they could have a fun 10 to 15 minute match with the time that they're given in the ring. They'll make up for this bad feud or bad storytelling. But I think it will be El Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable, getting over on Rey Mysterio on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania 41. Now, the women's title match, you'll see Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the women's title. Now, I am honestly disappointed. This feud has honestly been trash. I feel like as time went on, it was honestly unnecessary for Charlotte Flair to win the Royal Rumble. And this should have been given to somebody else, because Charlotte Flair has not been effective at all since returning. And honestly, she's been more annoying than ever. And I know she's playing a heel persona, but damn it. She's trying too hard to destroy Tiffany Stratton, somebody that is capable of being the next big thing. in this women's division. Tiffy time is over with the WWE Universe, and Charlotte is doing anything she can to not just bully Tiffany Stratton, but just completely wash her during this feud, which is uncalled for, unnecessary as professions, in my opinion. And I'm glad that Tiffany Stratton and their promo a few weeks ago on SmackDown went off script and completely destroyed Charlotte Flair, coming after her in her personal life, because I mean, what? It's like she's trying too hard to destroy her. But these two women are professions, and they're known for being great inside the wrestling ring. So they're gonna bring it at WrestleMania. They're gonna have one hell of a match, and I think Tiffany Stratton should go over here and retain her women's title. This match against Charlotte Flair, there'd be a lot of spots, a lot of near falls, a lot of false finishes, but it should be Tiffany going over against the veteran Charlotte Flair. She needs the victory more to establish herself as the next big thing in this women's division, because as you see, the 4 horsewomen, one is already in AEW and Sasha Banks. One, and Becky Lynch just had a child. She's not even in the mix of Road to WrestleMania. So that comes down to Bayley and Charlotte Flair. You can't leech off them forever. You got to build the other superstars in this women's division. And you can do that by Tiffany Stratton going over and defeating Charlotte Flair at the Grand Stage of WrestleMania. She needs to win more, and I'm going with Tiffany Stratton to defeat Charlotte Flair. So, in the main event of night 1 at WrestleMania, you'll be seeing CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns in a triple threat match. Now, one thing I will say, one of the complaints is, it is criminal that you have these 3 wrestlers competing in a triple threat match with no world title on the line. It is criminal, honestly. But it's just, I guess that's just how things go, I guess, with this road to WrestleMania. But this story is picking up steam. The long-term story, the long-time rivalry between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, their history is well documented. But the bad blood is brewing over with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And now it's taking a toll on Paul Heyman, because the favor that CM Punk had with him teaming up with the Bloodline War Games, Punk is cashing in on his favor of having Paul Heyman in his corner for his first ever WrestleMania main event of his WWE career. And it feels like a crime also, because I feel like Drew McIntyre should be a part of this feud somehow, some way, because he's had a problem with all 3 of these wrestlers. And I feel like it should be a fatal 4-way at the end of the day. But I think this will steal the show night 1 at WrestleMania. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be absolute cinema. I got Seth Rollins winning this match, and I think all 3 are going to head it out of the park. Great spots, several near falls, a lot of false finishes. But Seth Rollins, there's going to be a swerve here, because Seth Rollins is going to become a Paul Heyman guy. A long-term storytelling in wrestling matters. All the way back in 2014, they teased this. And now, with Seth Rollins delivering that fire promo on Monday Night Raw, I think with him saying, Paul, you owe me a favor, he's going to become a Paul Heyman guy, and Paul Heyman's going to become his advocate. We're going to get swerved, and we're going to see Seth Rollins turn heel with Paul Heyman joining his side, helping Seth Rollins defeat CM Punk and Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. Absolute cinema for Night 1. It's going to be a finish like that. But if Seth Rollins doesn't win, whoever wins that match is walking out with Paul Heyman by their side. And that could set up for a feud between Punk and Roman at SummerSlam, or down the road with Seth and Roman. But I think Seth going over here is the right call, and it would be great for television moving forward to have Paul Heyman by the side of Seth Rollins. But that is my WrestleMania Night 1 predictions for this year's WrestleMania 41.